Trigger warning. This podcast will be talking about suicide and childhood trauma. Hi, my name is Kira, and this is After I Decided to Stay, a podcast where I talk about my journey with suicidal thoughts and all the things I learned once I decided to stay here on this amazing planet with all you beautiful people. I'm doing this podcast because I need to say some things out loud. It is my desire to help someone by doing this, whether it be someone who is in the thick of it, someone who decided to stay like me, or a family member of someone who doesn't understand what they are going through. I'm not here to glamorize suicide or mental health. I'm not a medical health professional, and this podcast cannot be used as any form of therapy. If you need help with your mental health, I suggest that you find a mental health professional. You are worth it. You are not a burden. Thanks for being here. After I decided to stay, I remembered that the reason I had decided to go was because being here is hard. I wasn't good at making friends. I trusted people who never cared about me, and being social was hard. Still is sometimes. I'll begin with the hard stuff and end with the light stuff. My older sister, who I covered for and took beatings for, turned out to be very controlling. I moved out with her after graduation to prove myself to her. I was so naive. I should have been trying to impress myself. She ended up financially and emotionally abusing me for years. I finally started going no contact. As I've said before, it's not all bad. I do want her to be happy, but not at my expense. Growing up, she was the person who protected me and made sure I had everything I needed. I am very thankful for that, and I do love her. I hope that we can move forward with love and forgive each other. Also, there's other family members who I realized took advantage of me. I used to say yes to everything. I was leaving anyway, so why be difficult? Now that I say no, I have realized which family members only care about me when I can do something for them. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about emotional support. My family has always used me as their emotional dump site and the person who babysits. I used to love it until I realized I wasn't a person to them, just a servant. I think it's important to have people in your life who don't always need something, people who reach out just to see if you are okay. You can be that for others too. I dropped the friends I had in 6th grade. I'm sure they thought it was their idea, which is fine. I had acquired those friends while being someone I was not. They are beautiful women now and great. It's not their fault I was damaged then. The friends I made then after were just as damaged. I was trying to figure myself out, but really I was just a void. My best friend during my teen years had an eating disorder and then an opioid addiction. At first she thought I judged her because I didn't do anything. She called me Miss Goody Good. I didn't do drugs or have sex. This is the same friend who said to me, "You tell everyone that I'm your best friend, but have you ever thought that you're not my best friend?" As if me being friends with our grade's biggest slut and druggie was going to help me gain some type of popularity. I actually liked her and didn't care what anyone said about her. I defended her as well. I still love and miss her. She was actually a very loyal friend who always had my back. I was a weirdo. I loved calling myself that. I was also codependent, but didn't know that word, let alone what it meant. I could have been a good student and could have made many friends. I decided I didn't want to do that to people. I didn't want people to like me and get close to me just so I would leave them. I didn't want to see my classmates and teachers crying over me at my funeral. They thought I hated them. They thought I hated everything. But in my adolescent mind, I thought I was doing the best thing for everyone. Now as an adult, I'm not the best at keeping friends. I get really nervous. Old habits die hard, so I always try to push people away. I also have trust issues. I'm afraid that if I have nothing to offer, then no one will want to be friends with me. Lately though, I'm even more afraid of making friends with people who are unreliable, especially unreliable men. People just do what you say you are going to do. Keep your word. Have some integrity. The last thing is ordering food. When I would go out and order food, especially as a teen. I would have really bad panic attacks. For the longest, I didn't care what I ate. I would let others order for me, and after I decided to stay, I realized that I needed to start learning some basic things. I had to start ordering for myself. It was really scary. I almost shit myself on several occasions. Also, it's worth mentioning that on a church trip as a child, I was berated by a lady for not knowing what I wanted to eat at a fast food restaurant. I didn't answer fast enough, so she said I could just eat nothing. I don't remember how old I was, but I was small. I do remember crying. I remember that one of the first times that I forced myself to order, it was a bean burrito at Taco Bell. Yay me. Also, my sister tried to force me to order for myself. At the time, it was torture. Now I see she was just trying to help me in her own way. It's strange for me, a survivor of suicide, to realize all the things I needed to learn. I'm sure you never thought about it either. Those were just some of the big things for me that I had to realize. I didn't know what food I liked, what style of clothes I liked. I had to teach myself to accept myself before I even ever dipped my toe in the self-love pool. I had to figure out my sexuality and how do I really feel about God. It was scary at first. Now I'm so happy to be here discovering. Let's take a deep breath. Thanks for listening. You are worth it. You are not a burden. Thanks for being here.